Over the past 3 decades, Senator Tom Harkin has been Civil Air Patrol's most vocal advocate. His long-standing service as commander of CAP's Congressional Squadron, introduction of Senate Bill 418, which called for the presentation of the Congressional Gold Medal to CAP, and the key role he has played in support of numerous other CAP issues have been critical to Civil Air Patrol's present-day success. General Vasquez, will you please present a 75th anniversary painting to Senator Harkin as but a small token of our appreciation for his outstanding years of service. Hear, hear. Senator Harkin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. That's very generous. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Colonel Goss. I'm pleased to join our CAP veterans here, General Vasquez, our National Commander, our distinguished Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Deborah Lee James, tonight, and all of you. I thank you for this wonderful award. Some of you may be wondering what I've done since I retired. Some of you probably haven't even thought about it. But there is an institute at Drake University. It's a small university in Des Moines, Iowa, called the Harkin Institute of Public Policy and Civilian Engagement, Citizen Engagement. We have a nice building there on the campus in Des Moines. It's nonpartisan, 501c3 policy development. Anyway, I just want you to know where that painting will be. It will be the first thing that people see when they walk into the Harkin Institute at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. All of the people here, especially our leaders, underscore Civil Air Patrol's epic 75 years with our veterans serving during World War II. And of course, I would thank again and invite you to applaud again our distinguished Secretary of the Air Force for making CAP a part of the Air Force total force last year and hoping that it continues that way in the future. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. And again, I thank you to the sponsors, especially I do want to thank all the sponsors, but I wanted to especially recognize Rafael Gomez, a friend of mine for many years. Very few people know of this relationship that we've had with Venezuela and with Citgo going back to the beginning of Civil Air Patrol. And I think it also underscores something else. Venezuela's had some problems lately. We understand that. But they're our brothers and our sisters. They helped us when we needed help in World War II. And when they need help, we ought to be there for them too. And again, I think it underscores the necessity of the United States being a world leader and looking upon our friends and neighbors to the south as part of the American community in a greater sense. So thank you very much, General Goodman. Six years ago, I was honored to introduce a Senate bill, as was stated, to award the Congressional Gold Medal to the Civil Air Patrol for the service of its World War II members. It was presented in December 2014, as has been said in the Capitol. The actual medal actually is on display right over here in this display case. The actual medal is being held by the Smithsonian Institute, but they have let it be shown here for, I don't know how long it's going to be here, Colonel, but it's here, and you can see the medal and get your picture taken with it right over there in that case.
Solid gold.
What's that?
And it's solid gold.
And it is gold, so it's under lock and key, okay? Well, the long overdue medal highlights CAP's unusual service. Unpaid civilian volunteers flying their own aircraft, often under dangerous conditions, Their first mission, as has been stated, was armed patrols 60 miles offshore, again off the Louisiana coast, as we've heard, and other places along the eastern seaboard, at low altitudes looking for enemy submarines. Now, I've often thought about this as an old military guy myself, and a military pilot, Navy, but don't hold that against me. The fact that the military gave civilians bombs and asked them to hunt submarines just illustrates how dire the battle for the Atlantic was for America at that time. But its service did not stop there. CAP flew dozens of other homeland missions, including air defense training, search and rescue we know about, natural disaster support, emergency transportation, flight training. Its memberships include females, and its initial membership included females and African Americans. Except for the Civil Air Patrol, females had literally no opportunities to fly or serve in the Second World War. Now, we did have the Women's Army Service pilots. We did have them, but we didn't have them actually as flying as they did in the Civil Air Patrol. Likewise, Civil Air Patrol had integrated squadrons from the first that provided opportunities for service to our country for African Americans. And as important, it signaled an important social change in America, both for women and for African Americans. Both groups would find a CAP to be a home for service to their country after the war. Since 1776, the Congressional Gold Medal has been awarded on only 160 occasions. It's the highest award that Congress can give citizens and others. Those honored include George Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert Goddard, the Wright brothers, the Tuskegee Airmen, the WASPs that I mentioned earlier. So CAP is among excellent company. I also want to thank another person for his long service to CAP. He first started as a volunteer with CAP in 1974, first year I came to Congress. But I hadn't been involved at that time, but I did get involved 10 years later in 1984. And it was John Swain who came to see me, knew about my flying experience, and asked me to really get involved with Civil Air Patrol. The more I looked at it, the more I said I liked what I saw. And so from 1984 until my retirement just last year, John Swain and I formed a great partnership. And so when you see that gold medal and all the things, yes, I may have introduced the bill, but it was John and his work on both sides of the aisle. That's the key, working both sides of the aisle and both the Senate and the House that really pulled together the kind of support that we needed. So he headed our government relations here for over 30 years. As I said, we started together in 1984, and we've been good friends and collaborators ever since. And he couldn't have done it without the support of his wonderful wife, Ellen, John Swain and Ellen, right over here. John, thank you very much for all of your service. Since 2014, CAP has discovered and honored numerous veterans and their families with replica medals, replicas of the medal we have over here. Tonight, we honor two more. Both were young cadets who took what they learned to help this nation in important ways. And this was another of CAP's wartime tasks, to prepare young Americans for wartime and national service after the war. And based on the two we are honoring tonight, Civil Air Patrol did its job very well, as you will hear, both on the military side and civilian public service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Harkin.